Welcome to Kazakhstan, where the steppes are bigger than your dreams. A land where you can find futuristic skyscrapers, ancient tombs, alien-like landscapes, and a spaceport straight out of a sci-fi movie. Oh, and more horses than people. The 9th largest country in the world, a place so vast that if you started walking from one end to the other, you'd probably grow a beard along the way, even if you're a woman. Let's start with one that'll make you wonder if you accidentally teleported to Arizona. If the Grand Canyon had a long-lost cousin living in Central Asia, this would be it. Charyn Canyon is a 90-kilometer stretch of surreal rock formations sculpted by time, wind, and probably a very ambitious Kazakh artist. The Valley of Castles section looks exactly like its name suggests. Massive rock towers that seem like they were designed by an ancient civilization of giants, or just very enthusiastic erosion. Now, if you ever wanted proof that nature sometimes just does whatever it wants, meet Lake Kaindy. This mountain lake is famous for something you don't usually see in a lake, an entire sunken forest. It was created by an earthquake over 100 years ago, which basically turned a valley into an accidental aquarium. And those tall, spooky tree trunks sticking out of the water? They've been standing like that ever since, like a group of ghosts who missed the last bus to the afterlife. The water is so cold that it's preserved the trees almost perfectly. So yes, it's beautiful, mysterious, and also probably the setting of some undiscovered horror movie where the trees come back to life. Now, let's talk about the Altai Mountains. If you've ever wanted to feel like the protagonist of an epic adventure novel, this is where you go. These mountains are remote, untouched, and so pristine that even Google Maps sometimes gives up trying to chart them. The Altai region is home to nomadic herders, rare wildlife, and landscapes that make you question whether you're still on Earth. It's also where Kazakhstan meets Russia, China, and Mongolia, making it the ultimate crossroads of nowhere. If you want peace, solitude, and an occasional staring contest with a wild ibex, this is the place. Welcome to the Kazakh steppe, where the most common phrase is probably wow. This goes on forever. Covering over 1 million square kilometers, the steppe is so massive that if you dropped a pin here on a map, you'd probably lose it in real life too. It's here that the ancient nomads roamed, where Genghis Khan's army thundered across the land, and where you can drive for 6 hours straight without seeing a single building. Some say the steppe makes you feel free. Others say it makes you feel slightly concerned about your gas tank. Either way, it's a place that reminds you just how small you are in the grand scheme of things. So that's just a taste of Kazakhstan's natural wonders. Places where nature decided to go all out and create landscapes that feel straight out of a dream. First stop, Turkestan. No, not Turkey. Turkestan, Kazakhstan's ancient spiritual heart. Here, you'll find one of the most important Islamic monuments in Central Asia, the Mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yasawi, built in the 14th century by none other than Tamerlane. Think of him as Genghis Khan's slightly younger, equally ambitious cousin. This place was so ahead of its time that it inspired the architects of the Taj Mahal. That's right, this was the blueprint for one of the most famous buildings in the world. But here's the thing, this mausoleum was never actually finished. Tamerlane died before construction could be completed, which, to be fair, is the medieval version of starting a massive DIY project and then giving up halfway through. Still, even unfinished, it's breathtaking. The walls are covered in intricate blue tiles. The dome is one of the largest of its kind, and stepping inside feels like stepping back in time. From futuristic skyscrapers rising in the middle of nowhere to grand mosques and colorful cathedrals, Kazakhstan's cities are full of surprises. Let's start with the capital, where the buildings look straight out of a sci-fi movie. 1. Astana, Nur-Sultan, a futuristic city in the middle of the steppe. Kazakhstan's capital, Nur-Sultan, formerly Astana, and before that, another name. This place changes names like a pop star reinventing their image. It's like someone dropped a futuristic metropolis in the middle of the steppe and hoped for the best. Spoiler, it worked. First, there's the Bayrak Tower, the city's most famous landmark. It's meant to symbolize a mythical tree holding a golden egg, but let's be honest, it also kind of looks like a giant sci-fi trophy. Visitors can actually go up inside the egg. Don't ask how, just trust the elevator, where you get a panoramic view of the city. There's even a golden handprint of Kazakhstan's first president inside, because why not? Then there's the Khan Shatter, a shopping mall designed to look like the world's fanciest tent. But this isn't just any tent. Inside, you'll find shops, a full-on indoor beach with sand imported from the Maldives, because why stop at a tent? But perhaps the most breathtaking addition to the city is the Great Mosque of Astana, one of the largest mosques in Central Asia. Opened in 2022, this architectural masterpiece looks like something straight out of a dream, with towering white minarets, intricate golden calligraphy, and a massive dome that dominates the skyline. Stepping inside, you're immediately greeted by grand chandeliers, marble floors, and enough intricate details to make even the most seasoned architect take notes. It's a place of worship, a cultural landmark, and an undeniable statement piece in Kazakhstan's growing urban landscape. This was Kazakhstan's capital until 1997, and even though it lost the title, it never lost its charm. One of Almaty's gems is the Zenkov Cathedral, a completely wooden church that's somehow survived earthquakes, wars, and probably a few confused tourists wondering how it's still standing. No nails were used in its construction, which raises a lot of questions about ancient engineering and possibly some minor wizardry. Just outside the city, you'll find Midu, the highest altitude ice rink in the world. If you've ever wanted to skate while being judged by literal mountain peaks, this is the place. Olympic athletes train here, but don't worry. Falling on your face at 1,700 meters altitude is free for everyone. And there you have it, Kazakhstan, a country that defies expectations at every turn. We've seen landscapes so vast they make your problems feel insignificant. Ancient sites that whisper stories from the past, and futuristic cities that look like they were designed by an architect who watched too much sci-fi. So the real question is, why isn't this place on everyone's travel list? Thanks for watching, and as always, keep exploring. See you in the next adventure.